The world of conversational AI is just exploding, and it can feel totally impossible to figure out which tool is the right one for you. But what if the secret isn't about finding that one perfect, magical AI? What if it's about building a whole team of them? In this explainer, we're going to show you a much smarter, more strategic way to master these incredible platforms. Does this look familiar? I mean, you've heard the names, right? ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. Maybe you've even dabbled with one or two. But trying to choose the right one for the right task, it can feel like you're just taking a wild guess. It's a super common problem, but I think we've been looking at it all wrong. So here's the big idea, the reframe. Stop hunting for a single AI that's supposed to do everything perfectly. It doesn't exist. Instead, I want you to start thinking of yourself as a manager, and you're hiring an expert team of specialists. See, each AI has its own unique genius, and your job is to know who to call for which task. All right, with that in mind, let's meet the candidates for your new AI Dream Team. We're going to dive into their resumes, really understand their core strengths, and figure out exactly what role they were born to play. Okay, first up is the one you've definitely heard of, ChatGPT. Now, in our team, ChatGPT is without a doubt the creative genius. This is your go-to for brainstorming for that first spark of an idea, really for anything that needs a little bit of originality. So let's take a look at its resume. You can see its core skills right away. It's the most creative of the bunch, an absolute powerhouse for generating content. We're talking blog posts, social media captions, you name it. It's also fantastic at adopting different personas and tones, which makes it perfect for drafting stuff that needs a very specific voice. If you need new ideas, this is your hire, period. All right, next on our interview list is Claude. So if ChatGPT is your creative director, think of Claude as your sharp, super meticulous analyst. This is the team member who just loves digging into all the details and isn't scared off by a little complexity. Claude's standout skill, its superpower really, is understanding long, dense documents. Got a 100-page report or a complicated legal contract? Claude is the specialist you bring in to summarize it and pull out the key insights. Its strength in reasoning actually comes from this unique model called Conversational AI, where it follows a core set of principles. That makes it incredibly reliable for any task that needs careful, nuanced analysis. Every great team needs that one person who grounds everything in solid, verifiable facts. And for that job, we have our final candidate, Perplexity AI. I want you to think of Perplexity as your team's dedicated fact-checking researcher. Its entire reason for being is to find accurate, verifiable information. Now, what makes Perplexity so different is that at its heart, it's a research engine. And its key feature? Citation tracking. This is a game changer. It doesn't just spit out an answer, it shows you its work. It shows you exactly where it found the information. And a little pro tip, use its focus modes. They let you narrow a search down to specific sources, like academic papers or even YouTube, giving you way more precise results. Okay, so here it is, all laid out in one place, your AI candidate roster. You've got ChatGPT for creation, Claude for that deep analysis, and Perplexity for verified research. See, this isn't about which one is best, it's about assigning the right specialist to the right job. So, you've met your team, but how do you manage them effectively? Well, just like with the human team, it all comes down to giving really clear instructions. And in the AI world, we have a name for that. It's called a prompt. Let's not overcomplicate this. A prompt is simply the instructions you give to an AI. That's it. It's your job description, your creative brief, and your direct order, all rolled into one. And the bottom line is, a great prompt gets you a great result. And believe it or not, there's a pretty simple formula for a great prompt, a great interview question for your AI. Number 1, give it clear context. What's the background here? 2, state a specific action. What do you actually want it to do? And 3, set the desired tone. Should it be professional, casual, maybe a little witty? Let's see how this works. For ChatGPT, our creator, you could ask it to summarize this report in 3 key points and create a title. This plays perfectly to both its analytical and its creative strengths. You get a tight summary and a catchy title. Clear context, specific action. Done. Okay, so how would you talk to your analyst, Claude? Well, you give it a task that's right in its wheelhouse. You're handing it a dense document, the HR policy, and asking for a very specific, detailed analysis. Find the compliance gaps. This requires that deep reasoning that is Claude's absolute specialty. And finally, your researcher, Perplexity. This prompt is just tailor-made. You're asking for data which needs research, and you specifically ask for its superpower, citations. You're not just asking for information, you're asking for proof. All right, your team is hired. You know how to interview them. Now it's time to put them to work on some real-world tasks. So let's imagine what your new AI team's daily to-do list might actually look like. I mean, just think about the possibilities here. You can hand off drafting all those routine emails to ChatGPT. You can have Claude analyze that dense sales report that's been sitting on your desk. You can task Perplexity with finding the latest market data for your big presentation. The whole goal is to offload these tasks to the right specialist, so you can free up your own time for higher-level thinking. Maybe the most important thing to take away from all this is that these tools are not here to replace you. Think of them as co-pilots. They are incredibly powerful partners that can handle the heavy lifting, which lets you focus on strategy, on creativity, on critical thinking. They augment your expertise. They don't make it obsolete. So, let's bring it all home. The secret to really mastering conversational AI isn't about finding that one perfect platform. It's about knowing your team and matching the right specialist to the right task. Let's look at our team roster one last time just to really lock this in. Need something new, something creative? That is a job for ChatGPT, the creator. Need to make sense of a really complex document? You call on Claude, the analyst. And if you need facts that you can actually trust, you assign that to Perplexity, the researcher. It's as simple as that. Look, this AI world is moving at lightning speed, and that's not going to change. Your ability to think strategically about how to use these tools, that is going to become a defining skill. The real key is just to stay curious, to keep experimenting, because in this new landscape, AI truly, truly rewards curiosity. And that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you to answer. You've met the candidates, you know their strengths, and you know how to talk to them. So what's the very first job you're going to give your new AI team?